Today, I'm going to be turning Minecraft into a game featuring pretty much every single mechanic I can find that adds some level of realism. And normally, all you really need to deal with in Minecraft is hunger, and maybe sleeping. Well, that's about to change, because I'm going to make you deal with pretty much every single inconvenient effect I can find all at once. It's going to be great. And anyway, let's check it out. For starters, we're going to be using the time control mod to sync your in-game time with your local real-world time. Now, the only way you can skip the night is to get off and go to bed. Sorry, no easy shortcuts here. And keep in mind, I kept this mod on while recording the entire video, so you'll know exactly when I was working on this. Next, it's time to make inventory management horrible, and we'll be doing this with the stack size edit mod. And normally, you'd use this mod to increase the maximum stack size in your game, perhaps even substantially. We're not going to be doing that here. I'm going to limit stacks to, say, 4. Remember, we're going for realism here, and I think this is still highly generous. Next, I've included the real camera mod, as it allows you to see yourself in first person, because once again, this is a feature of real life. And real camera is especially realistic, as pretty much any movement you make will translate into the first person view. For example, swimming or using an elytra will completely rotate you forward. And to take advantage of this mechanic, I've installed Better Combat, which will accomplish 2 different goals: making combat somewhat more realistic, and making combat really immersive. Maybe too immersive? No matter, it must be done. Now, each attack you carry out will be exceptionally intense. I wanted to add some kind of stamina mod here as well, however, the only mod I could find was Better Paragliders, which is sadly only available for Forge, and we're using fabric mods today, so you all get to escape combat stamina at least. I've also installed Camera Overhaul, because obviously our camera movement isn't immersive enough yet, and this mod will introduce camera rotation to movement like turning, strafing, and jumping. And each of these rotation types can be customized individually, so if any particular movement is a little too strong, I suppose you can turn them down a little bit, or just increase them for extra immersion. Plus, I'll be including Auto HUD, which dynamically hides your hotbar when it's not in use, and obviously in real life you don't get HUD, so why should you here? And you can even modify Auto HUD settings, for example, hiding your HUD entirely. Now, you'll have to look at your hand in order to determine what you're even holding, or just memorize your inventory. Now, in order to add some realism to the early portion of your game, I've installed No Tree Punching, which does pretty much what you would expect, and more. In order to progress through the game, you'll need to collect leaves for sticks, gravel for flint, use flint to obtain flint shards, create a flint knife, harvest some plant fibers with said knife, and now you will have the ability to destroy a tree. Also, as a side note, you're going to want to disable Better Combat's swing through grass option, because if you have this on, you are not going to be able to destroy grass with that knife you just made, which, will be a problem. But once you've passed this step, you can always just turn it back on. But we can make the process of cutting down trees more realistic as well, so naturally I'm installing HT's TreeChop. With this mod, you can visually see your progress towards cutting down a tree, and the time it takes will change dynamically depending on its size. And we can make the final segment of tree destruction more sensible as well by installing Panda's Falling Trees. Now, when you cut down a tree, the entire thing will fall over, sound effects and all. Proceeding with extra grindy mods, Unnecessary Overhaul will now be installed, and this mod has all kinds of great features. For example, a log now yields 8 boards, 4 of which can be turned into planks. Breaking stone drops 1 to 6 rocks, which again can be used to create 1 cobblestone, and these extra steps kind of just continue throughout the game, so now you can spend even more time crafting. Next, I'll be including the Body Health System mod, making it so different parts of the body have independent health. So now, taking damage to different parts of the body will yield different results, to the point that in this clip I got shot in the head by a skeleton and just died. I mean, what could be more realistic than that? We're also going to add the Spoiled mod, which will make sitting on an infinite supply of food very difficult. Now all your food will expire within a single day. At that point, food will just become rotten flesh, so you'll need to plan accordingly for this. Dehydration should be an issue as well, so I've gone ahead and installed the aptly named Dehydration mod. Now, as you can tell by the additional status indicator, you'll need to remember to keep yourself hydrated, amongst other things. You'll even need to make sure your water is clean, otherwise you'll acquire a thirst debuff, which is essentially the same thing as the hunger effect in relation to food. And while we're on the subject of adding new conditions you need to worry about, I've installed thin air. Now, doing something as simple as climbing a mountain will be a problem, because there won't really be any air up there. In order to survive, you'll need to either bring an air bladder, respirator, or free breathing potion, which is just a rebranded water breathing potion. Oh, and this effect will also take place underground as well, because in real life, caves can also be pretty devoid of oxygen. Overall, you're just gonna love the fact that caves and mountains are now very difficult to explore. And you know what? Let's make caves really dark as well while we're at it. They obviously would be in the real world, so we're gonna make that happen with a True Darkness mod. We'll throw on Torch Burnout as well. Can't have you feeling too comfortable exploring the depths. Now, after a set amount of time, your torches will die until they are reignited. I hope you have fun exploring the dark, airless caves. Next, I figured we'd make mobs more difficult and realistic, and to start off this process, I've included neutral animals, which will make it so just about any mob you come across will retaliate if you attack it. No longer will they cower and run away, animals are gonna fight for their lives. I've also included included mobs attempt parkour because I do believe that a creature dead set on killing you would be able to jump, so now you have to deal with that as well. We're also going to give fish the realism treatment with the Boids mod, and with this installed, not only will fish swim more realistically, they'll also swim quite a bit faster in general, so it'll be much more difficult to just kill fish by chasing them down. It's not really an option anymore, honestly. The Nif Spiders mod is also going to be included, because in a realism-based pack, obviously spiders need to be the wall-walking monsters that they are. Now, rather than just kind of floating up the side of a wall in order to reach you, they have the ability to climb on any surface, even upside down. So escaping spiders will be quite difficult now, and cave spiders are gonna be just terrible. I mean, they already are without this mod, so yeah, it'll be great. After this, I've installed You Thief, which blesses villagers with the ability to feel anger. Now they will take great insult to you opening their chests, and their iron golems will become hostile. Now, at this point, I feel we still need a few more sources of danger in the game, so I've added the Danger Close mod. Now, blocks that appear as if though they'd be dangerous to touch will probably be dangerous to touch. For example, a campfire or stone cutters, which, by the way, I got some comments on my recent video stating that touching a stone cutter won't hurt you, and I'll admit, I'm no stone cutter expert, but I'd imagine standing on one would be a bad idea, so the feature stays. And you know what? Fire arrows in vanilla Minecraft aren't as big of a problem as they need to be, so I'm including the Fire Arrows Ignite Fire mod. Now, all your erratic fire-coated arrows will ignite flammable stuff, so you best be careful with those. And we'll build on this, throw in the realistic fire spread mod, and now not only will the shots you do hit burn your target, the flames that are consuming their body will have a chance to spread as well. Now, after that, I'm going to be adding the EnvironmentZ mod because obviously at this point you need even more problems to deal with, and this time around it's going to be the temperature. So if you're going to be taking a journey to a hot or cold biome, you're going to have to prepare accordingly. And at this point, we've mainly focused on gameplay mods, so to finish things off, we can add a little visual realism as well, I suppose. For starters, we'll need a shader, and this time around I decided to go with Bliss Shaders. It's got a great combination of beautiful visuals and performance, along with some awesome features like biome-specific fog density. And in the shader settings, you'll want to set the minimum light brightness setting within the ambient light category to 0, as the shader's lighting overrides the true darkness mod. Plus, to take advantage of the shader, we'll be adding a resource pack, and this time I'll be using Coven, which works pretty great with Bliss. And at this point, it already looks pretty nice, but if we just change a couple of settings, we can make it look even better. This includes a few settings within the specular reflections category. Once enabled, you'll notice a pretty solid jump in visual quality, and it still runs great. And you can also try enabling parallax as well. However, I found that this setting kind of tanks your FPS, so it'll be up to you to decide whether or not it's worth it. And finally, the last mod I'll include today is the tried and true Physics Mod Pro. This mod pretty much specifically focuses on making the game more realistic, so you know, it's kind of a natural fit. You've got lifelike oceans, collapsing caves, mob ragdolls, realistic snow, block breaking physics, and it just keeps going. Alright, now that I've shown you all the mods I've installed, I'm going to quickly talk about a few features that I think would be really cool, but as of now aren't available. As I mentioned before, Physics Mod has collapsing blocks, and I think it'd be pretty interesting if these could actually harm you. Because as of now, they will fall on you and interact with you, but they don't actually do anything. And you know, I think this would add some real danger towards mining inside of a cave. And also, I think it'd be great if there's a setting to choose how often the blocks will collapse rather than just 100% of the time. And the final thing I'll mention, which is once again a feature, and I think would be pretty funny to have to worry about, would be compatibility between time control and the spoiled mod. As mentioned before, time is now synced with your real world time, and ideally you'd even have to worry about your food spoiling when you're not playing, so you hop back on, you know, 2 days later and all your food is gone. I'm sure you all would just love this feature. It wouldn't be painful at all. At this point, it's safe to say survival is going to be very difficult. You'll spend a fair bit of time just maintaining different status bars and constantly worrying about new ways you'll be inconvenienced. But you know, I suppose it could always be worse. Let me know your thoughts and what mods you'd add to enhance the pain even more. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and until next time, thanks for watching.